When it comes to serious allegations about influencers, none have been as popular, contentious, and memed on as those surrounding Dream. Millions of people seem to believe he's guilty of all of these accusations, albeit with very limited or non-existent proof in every case. I've been covering this on my channel for months now, going through each claim and evaluating how realistic each of them are, and as of today, I've yet to see any substantial proof that Dream is any kind of loser, creep, or, You know. The worst thing you can really say about him is that he's cringe. And people have been using that cringe and unfunniness and just his general unlikability as an excuse to slander him for months, for years now, but really in the past few months it's really ramped up. Now, my conclusion up until now has been that Dream is probably innocent of all of these claims. And after teasing a response video for weeks, Dream has finally released the response to the allegations to end all responses to allegations to his YouTube channel. It's over an hour long. So today, I'm here to talk about if it was good or not. Dream opens by talking about his face reveal. He admits that the old fat Dream pictures are him. We already knew this because, his face is obviously him, like this is the same dude, and the docs information obtained with these pictures also lined up with Dream's details, but previously he had denied that these photos were even him. In this video, he admits that it was him the entire time and says he lied because the effort put into his face reveal was undone by his face being leaked beforehand. He also says he lied because of the fact the photos were tied to personal information about him, like his real name and location, which he obviously did not want out there for everyone to have. He also reveals at this moment that he was actually swatted repeatedly once his personal information got out, which gave him even more incentive to hide all the information and obfuscate the truth about it, because obviously if he admitted it was real, then he's also admitting the docs is real, and then, there are more repercussions for him and anyone around him. His family was then swatted as well. Not sure who did this. I imagine Dream does know, but he never really said who it was in the video itself. Probably so as not to draw any unneeded attention to the perpetrators, just not really worth it. And I think his response to this face reveal thing is really fair. I don't care one way or the other if his face reveal was staged or planned or if the old fat pictures are him. I just don't care at all. Obviously, we all have embarrassing photos of ourselves from when we were younger. I'm sure in 5 or 10 years, a lot of us will look back at how we look right now and feel embarrassed about that. But the fact he lied about it, given the breach of privacy he received and the repeated swatting, makes sense, and so I don't really care that he lied about that at all. I also was never parasocially attached to how Dream looked, so finding out he used to be fat doesn't really matter to me. I don't care. Next up is Minecraft speedrunning and the cheating scandal. In 2020, Dream was accused of using cheats within the game to fake his world record setting time for completing Minecraft. It was one of his first big controversies, and ultimately, no one believed he legitimately won this at all. In fact, most people believed that he was being very malicious with it. Carl Jobst, the speedrunning cheater catching guy, even did a few videos about him back in the day, and his conclusion was basically like, it's very possible that Dream didn't know he was cheating, didn't know he had the cheats enabled that he did. Once again, I'm not really a big Minecraft speedrunning expert, but I trust the judgment of Carl Jobst on this issue.
Based on his past behavior of bending the truth, I couldn't in good conscience believe everything at face value. But as I also said earlier, I've never caught him saying something that was completely fabricated either. Therefore, in conjunction with all of the evidence I've seen, I believe the essence of what Dream was claiming in his paste bin was probably true. In my opinion, it is definitely more likely that he really didn't know his drop rates and barter rates were modified.
Dream repeats in this video that he unintentionally cheated in the game, which is what he has said before. If you want to think he lied about this, you can, and you're welcome to criticize Dream, but I'm not someone who's invested in Minecraft speedrunning or speedrunning in general, and so I just don't care. And really, to me, the bigger allegations are the, grooming stuff that people accused him of, which we'll be putting later in the video, or rather, Dream put it later in his video, so we're going to discuss it in a little bit. Dream also talks about how he donated $50,000 to the speedrunning community, apologized to all the mods who he accused of basically going too hard on him when he did accidentally cheat, and even says he acted like a big baby in this situation. He admits fault, which is a very good acknowledgement, because apart from the accusations, I think a lot of people just find Dream to be a cringe person, sort of insufferable and condescending at times. That's definitely a boat I've been in the past, and even to this day, when I look at some of the things he says or some of the things he used to do, there's no denying that, it's a little cringe. But just because he's cringe doesn't mean he's guilty. And here he acknowledges this and says he wants to change and not be cringe anymore. He's escaping the cringe, guys. So, based, good job, Dream. W-Riz, only in Ohio could something this awesome happen. And the next allegation that Dream acknowledges is the phantom tax allegations, which apparently he hasn't been paying for a very long time. Okay, next is Manatreed. This one came out of left field to me when it came up a few weeks ago, but the basic gist is that Dream adds this dude named Manatreed to his server. Manatreed did not have a career prior to this, but Dream adds him. He blows up and gets a big career of his own.
Like a lot of the people that thought the theory, like the theories a lot of people thought, like the fact that my profile was made on June, and what was it, the Ollie, that my account was made when the Ollie, on Sapnap did the Ollie. Those were all coincidences. I had no idea. Like I did know that I guess that Dream made his account in June, but I didn't remember it when I made the account. You know what I mean? I didn't even really think it was even June. It was kind of June. But yeah,
I guess that's probably true when anybody does anything. And you're thinking about like the month you're doing it in.
Then someone doxes Manatreed and finds a criminal record for domestic violence. And then Dream sees that, and initially, I believe he responded, was like, this is fake, there's no way. But eventually he did kick him from the server and shut down his career, basically. But the other accusation here is that Dream was also longtime friends with this guy in real life, housed him, and because it's Dream, everyone assumed he knew about his record the entire time and supported him, basically. Because when you're posting cringe online, everyone assumes you also like people who beat women, I guess. Dream admits here to being his best friend growing up when they were kids and says that when he was going through a rough time, meaning Manatreed was going through a rough time, he gave him shelter and a career and some money. At the time, he didn't know what had previously happened with Manatreed. He thought he was just down on his luck. Manatreed never told him. And so when people brought it up online, he assumed they were lying. But eventually, he confronted Manatreed about it. And, well, it didn't go that well.
I responded emotionally, calling people gullible, because I didn't believe that someone I had known for so long and grew up with could do anything like that. And at the time, although no one knew, he lived with me in Sapnet. So it seemed crazy that he could somehow hide it from us. I jumped to the gun and reacted emotionally. Only later did I properly look into everything, and I apologize. After I confronted Manatreed in real life, he claimed that he wasn't an abuser, that he had just had an altercation with another guy, and that his ex-girlfriend got in the middle of it. He claimed that he never hit her, that he had just caught her cheating and was fighting the guy that she was cheating with, that the cops got called, and that he got arrested. This is just what he said. This altercation would have taken place around a year before he moved in with us, and I had no knowledge of it. People thought that domestic violence took place when he lived with us because my address was on a court document of his, but that was far after when he was on probation and had to tell the court where he currently lived. He also lied to us and told us that he was on probation for smoking weed in order to not have us question anything suspicious related to it. Even though he claimed to me that he wasn't abusive to anyone, I couldn't just take him for his word, and so I did research myself. I reached out to his ex-girlfriend and talked to her about it all. She wouldn't really say that much. She said to give Manatreed the best wishes for his future and that his mistakes were behind her and that she just wanted to be left alone online. I don't want to push her for information, so because of that, I didn't feel comfortable having Manatreed on the Dream SMP anymore. I didn't have full confidence that he was being honest with me because he had already lied to me. And I was also still faceless and really didn't want to have to dox myself to explain the situation. I decided the best idea would just be to remove him from the server. I had created all of the accounts, so I completely shut them down and removed his access. That meant that there was absolutely no risk that, even if he was lying, he would ever cause future harm because of me.
Ultimately, Dream never figured out what exactly had gone down with Manatreed according to him. And when Dream tried to talk to Manatreed's ex-girlfriend that was involved in this criminal charge, she just said she wanted to stay out of the situation and not be involved whatsoever. She wants to move on, and that's fair. Now, I did manage to obtain a copy of the police report, and I can read what it says here on video, but obviously I'm not going to say anyone's name. A lot of info is going to be redacted, but this is what I found. The defendant and the complainant were engaged in a verbal altercation, which became physical when the defendant grabbed the complainant by the neck and slapped her in the left side of her face with an open hand. The defendant later pulled the complainant by her hair as she was trying to leave on foot and threw her on the ground. The complainant sustained marks to both sides of her face and the neck and arms as a result of being battered. So, yeah, I mean, that's that's pretty dark. That's pretty bad. Manatreed, how could you do this? I was such a big fan. As I said, this isn't an official police report, and it very well could be real and what actually happened. It was written under oath, meaning the complainant is compelled to tell the truth or face legal repercussions for filing a false report. I'd say this is probably true. But what does it mean for Dream? Well, according to him, he just didn't know about any of this. You can claim he's lying, but you have no proof for that, and given that Dream doesn't have a track record of protecting bad people for the fun of it, I think he's telling the truth. And if there is some evidence that he 100% knew beforehand and housed him, gave him a career anyway, then that's one thing, obviously. But I've never seen that, and unless I do, I have to give Dream the benefit of the doubt and take him at his word, and I have to say he's clear of this accusation. The next thing is somewhat minor, but Dream addresses the fact that he posts a lot of thirst traps on Twitter and Instagram. He basically just shows the fact that the majority of his photos are not thirst traps at all, and instead he's mostly just posting silly pictures of his life or dumb memes or whatever else. He also points out the abundance of weird parody accounts that repost his photos with their own captions to add a new meaning and make him look more weird than he really is.
A lot of people also say stuff like this.
I don't know why he still uses Snapchat. It's still kind of weird. I told you, if you're a grown man using Snapchat.
Another minor point that's addressed is that a lot of people say it's weird for a grown man to use Snapchat. I feel like this doesn't really mean anything, and I don't care, so moving on. He also says he regrets calling his fans Discord kittens, which, I mean, I'm glad he said this because it was really gay. To put it bluntly, it really was. I think it really contributed to this super strong parasocial relationship that Dream had with the Dream SMP fan base. And in this video, Dream just straight up acknowledges, like, some of the Stan stuff he did was bad, which is a good acknowledgement.
Me calling my fan base kittens. This was a stupid tweet. If I could go go back, never would have tweeted it. I completely understand that without knowing my intentions or what I actually meant, it could seem super weird. The whole Discord kittens meme wasn't as big yet, and I just tweet so much, I just wasn't really thinking. It came out horribly, and I will never live this down. It is still something that my friends make fun of me for to this day. I was just trying to explain that when I say I love my audience, I don't mean in the same way that I love my friends or my family. That I mean it in the way that I love dogs. Even though I don't know every dog personally, I can still say I love dogs. I should not have said kittens, but it's not what I meant. It was a stupid tweet. I've tweeted tens of thousands of times the last few years. It wasn't my brightest moment.
Really, the first 20 minutes of this video is Dream going over smaller accusations or criticisms people have had of him. People calling him weird or creepy or saying his alt account reposts NSFW art. He went through all of it, and in my opinion, he debunked every claim that people made about him pretty thoroughly. And that brings us to the meat of the video. The real Dream allegations that I've been covering on my channel. The first one he addressed is from a girl named OxyClean, or Anastasia. She tweeted out claiming she had been groomed by Dream. He flirted with her when she was a minor, and that she was a victim who needed to be heard. He showed his face to her when she was a minor. She shows a few screenshots that look cringy flirting. I haven't seen any proof of illicit material exchanged at all in these DMs, but from what I've seen, she never implied that happened. It's all just cringy flirting, but she was trying to say that she was like a victim of him. But it's hard to tell what the actual allegation even is here. Like, is a 20-year-old guy talking to a 17-year-old girl with no explicit messages at all grooming? Unlikely. And her intention with coming out seems to be more to embarrass Dream than to share a traumatic story about how she was victimized. Now, there could be more here that hasn't been shared, and I would be open to my mind being changed, or at least I would have been prior to Dream's response. But even in here, she alludes to rumors about 13 or 15-year-olds with no proof, and we've never actually heard anything substantial about that. Now, to be clear, Dream and OxyClean definitely messaged, but as for if he did anything wrong, you know, the evidence we had before Dream's video was so minimal that I don't think so. A lot of people will point to a power imbalance, and to be clear, power imbalances are a real thing that can exist, but in this case, I mean, there doesn't seem to be any abuse of that power. That's the case in which a power imbalance really comes into play.
The messages show two people talking back and forth with nobody showing any discomfort at all. It's flirty and it's cringe, but it isn't nothing to hold against either person as something with malicious intent, and implying other things like the 13 or 15-year-old doesn't make your claim look any good without any hard proof.
And so recently this girl came back, and the update from her is that when the allegations blew up again, she said, "I'm not here to fully prove my experience that I know happened." And she was basically just saying like, well, I don't need proof, I know what happened. Well, then just shut up. And this is all the information I had up until now. So how did Dream respond to this? Well, he says he actually barely remembers this person. He said he never face revealed to them. He never had any inappropriate contact with her. And the only DM he really showed was her saying that she was 18 years old. He also claims the DMs she posted of him were not real, and it shouldn't have even been taken seriously. I mean, this girl never had any real substantial proof in the first place, and given her final statement on it being that she doesn't need proof, well, what am I supposed to do here? You can't just assume that the guy is guilty. And so, in my opinion, allegation 1 is knocked down like a domino. Dream also highlights people who say messaging fans is weird behavior, that's that. And these people who say this are really, really dumb. YouTubers or streamers or influencers, whatever you want to call them, are people just like viewers. They can interact on a level playing field of communication with normal, non-influencer people. And just because one person has a bunch of people watching their content doesn't mean they're more capable of abusing the person on the other end of that communication, or that any abuse is necessarily going on. And it's definitely not weird to message a fan. If two legal adults have a conversation, or let's go even further, if two legal adults consent to sex, then there's nothing wrong with that. This is literally the I consent meme, and then there's this like Asher girl, you know, that posted this tweet on the other side, and she's like, well, I don't. Well, thankfully, your opinion doesn't actually matter. Are YouTubers only allowed to date other YouTubers or influencers? Or is it only people that have never heard about their YouTube channel? Like, what does this even mean? If there's some clear abuse or grooming going on, then that's one thing, but I'm beyond caring if a YouTuber's sex an above age adult fan. To be clear, I haven't even seen that happen here with Dream yet in the video, but yeah, this is a dumb thing people say. Stop saying it. And Dream goes on to make a very cogent point here about how people who say this are dumb, but he says it in a much nicer way than I did. In the video, he has a very understanding, neutral tone, which is a good thing to do when you're making these allegation videos, because you don't want to upset people who you're trying to get on your side by convincing them that you're actually right. And the thing with Dream is, you know, as we'll see later on, despite how cordial and nice he was in this video, a lot of people are still trying to come for him for other things that aren't even in this video.
I think that when people talk about messaging or becoming friends with a fan, most people are thinking of a stan or a super obsessive fan, because what makes you a fan? Having watched one video, 2 videos, 10, being subscribed? There's levels to it. My point being that when you're talking about messaging someone and it being weird, there has to be a weird dynamic. Obviously, a streamer that's subscribed to me and has watched my videos in the past and DMs me should not be looked at the same as a random person that does the exact same thing. I've had fans of mine turn into friends of mine, but I don't go seeking out friendships with people who have obsessions with me. There's a difference between a fan of mine who reacts to my videos because they're entertaining and makes some content about me because that's what gets views that I end up becoming friends with, than a random stan that posts thirst edits of me. Obviously a massive difference. There's a difference between a random stan in your Twitch chat that watches every stream because they love you, and a regular viewer that's in your community because they have common interests with you that you end up becoming friends with. And at that point, they're no longer a fan, they're a friend. And in some cases, becoming some of the most beloved couples on the internet. My point is that there's a lot of nuance. I think it's a responsibility of a creator to be able to recognize dynamics, avoid any weird ones. You can't just look at the fact that somebody follows you or has watched a couple of your videos and write them off as, oh, they're a fan, therefore we can have no conversation.
And now it's time to get to Amanda. This is the biggest allegation made about Dream, and the one talked about with the most detail around it. A girl named Amanda claimed that when she was 17, Dream sent her graphic images of himself, accusing him of breaking the law. There does seem to be proof she talked to him at the very least, and she posted a ton of TikToks about this at the time, and it really blew up. The rest of the TikToks linked here basically are her going through Instagram to show that she did message him and they were in contact, but there wasn't any explicit proof of the bad interactions that she said happened. On September 23rd, 2020, this girl, who at the time of the messages was supposedly 17, messages Dream sending him a nice message. He says thank you. Moving over to January of 2022, she adds him on Snapchat, and this is allegedly where the conversations take place. And according to her, it went on for 1 month.
So from the 17th to maybe February 10th is the time frame where we were texting.
At some point in August, she tells him that she's in Orlando, and because he's in Florida, they apparently, according to her, keep in mind, according to her at the time, this is what we knew, or thought at least, they were planning to hook up, they were planning to have sex, according to her.
I informed him that I was coming to Orlando in August, and it was suggested that we meet up and have sex. I was either going to have him come to the resort I was at, or he was going to pick me up and bring him to his house. He told me that he has a chest full of toys that he was going to use on me. And to top it all off, he blocked me after seeing my tweet. You want evidence for that? Here it is. He blocked me. Gone.
Now, the issue with this, once again, is determining how old the girl was when they actually met. I haven't seen a lot of proof of her age. And another big part of it that's a big problem is that none of the bad interactions that she said happened, like him sending her nudes or like him, planning to meet up with her in real life, we hadn't seen any proof of that at all. Supposedly, she had proof for, the fact that he knew her age or something, but she didn't actually have any proof for all of the damning stuff. So it was kind of up in the air. She also would go on to say that she lied about her age online to use Twitter when she was underage, but that shouldn't impact how you view the allegations, I guess. I didn't lie about my age to any of you, not once during this whole thing. You are reaching to find any reason to hate me. I lied about my age while making an account for Twitter years ago. Like, to be for real, that tweet had no legs because I'm a normal human. I haven't said one lie. Not one. Now, Dream did respond to these in a few Twitlongers, but evidently that wasn't enough because this stuff just ran wild, basically, and everyone continued talking about it as if this was proof that Dream had messaged a child to solicit them for illegal activity. At the time, his statement was to say this. The second thread at Instagram DMs from me, again, having friendly, normal conversation and nothing inappropriate. I believe these messages are real. Once again, she was 18 years old, says she was 18 years old, and even had a boyfriend while she was friendly with me. This is being warped into me being a gooner, and the fact that she is and was 18 is scary and sad, and a huge reason as to why it's so hard for me to interact on one-on-one with anybody online as a creator, especially people from within your communities. I did not engage inappropriately with her, and anything saying otherwise is completely false. As far as I've seen, she was involved with leaked twit, and so was the first poster's boyfriend, which seemed to be a trend in situations like these. But it's mostly been contained to their side of the internet other than during big moments like the face reveal or major streams and events. Having such a deep obsession towards someone to look deeply into their family, friends, and personal life, or making up relationships or friendships in your head is one of the biggest reasons parasocial relationships can become so dangerous. It's also one of the reasons creators need to be as responsible as they can and be careful when they interact with anybody. So what does Dream say about this now? Well, he opens with denying the accusations of explicit conversations outright. He then went through a full transcript of their Instagram messages, wherein this girl seemed to be a Dream superfan who wanted to be a streamer and was asking him about equipment to use and how to get started making Minecraft content. He goes on to show how she had deleted a few of their messages on Instagram. Not sure what those messages were exactly, but she, deleted her messages. It wasn't him deleting his. And he then shows how they added each other on Snapchat at some point, which is when Amanda claims they begin sexting.
Now let's go over her actual claims in detail. Amanda claims that after I added her on Snapchat on January 17th, 2022, that we started sexting. She showed that her birthday, when she would turn 18, is on February 17th, exactly a month later. She claims that we sexted from around the 17th of January January, the day I added her on Snapchat, to the 10th of February, and then that it stopped. She said that while she was still underage, we exchanged nudes. Her evidence of this was 2 photos of, supposedly me, from after she was 18, complimenting her. Her final important claim was that she traveled to Orlando in August and that we planned to meet up and have sex. And I just want to make sure that I blatantly deny this before continuing. None of this is true.
To refute this, Dream provides a full timeline of all their Instagram DMs to basically show all of their interactions in full. He was not able to show that he didn't message her on Snapchat explicitly at this point, but this is because she never had a lot of information in the first place. He's tasked with proving a negative, and that's extremely tough. He also shows that the days before the allegations were made by her, she was tweeting out in support of him and his fans. He then shows he ignored a few of her messages and made a new Snapchat where he didn't have her added, and shortly after, she made the accusation. The most plausible explanation here is she just got angry, he didn't want to talk to her anymore, and that sounds so cliche and dumb as a reason to make a false accusation, but I honestly believe it. It seems like she was a super fan, he interacted with her a bit and was nice to her, and that was his biggest mistake because she got too attached, and then when he didn't respond to all of her messages, she freaked the out.
The only photos she showed as proof that I groomed her were both pictures from based on her own evidence after she was 18, meaning even if we give her the benefit of doubt and assume everything she's provided is real and truthful, she was 18 when these messages would have been sent, and I had no context to the fact that she was more than a small streamer. But on top of that, I unblocked her Snapchat, went through our Snapchat chats, and couldn't find either of the messages that she was talking about. I also downloaded all of our Snapchat logs using the Snapchat data tool, which she can do as well, and neither of the compliments that she showed were in the logs. Now honestly, this is pretty useless information because there's almost no messages in the logs at all, but it's still extremely weird that she was asked for these logs many times. It takes 5 minutes to download and she never did it. Probably because it doesn't support what she was saying.
All these interactions here look very harmless from what we know did happen, and while he did call her pretty at one point and gave her a gift card, she had said she was 19 years old, not 17 or 18, and he never sexted her as far as we've seen. He was just nice to her in DMs a few times. Dream was also able to show this girl deleting a lot of evidence and things that contradicted her own story, and so, you know, she's just not a very reliable narrator. There's no reason to trust her over Dream, and as far as the evidence, even without, you know, their reliability being called into question, she never even had enough evidence to call him a groomer in the first place. She just didn't.
After her allegations, she deleted a lot of evidence. She unliked a lot of tweets she had liked. She deleted replies of hers on Twitter and TikTok that hurt her credibility or contradicted what she was saying. She deleted Instagram DMs to me and only got caught because she accidentally showed them in an old TikTok of hers, and that's all completely factual and documented. Later, she was bragging on TikTok, calling people doubting her jealous, saying, "I'm gorgeous and my favorite YouTuber thought so too. It's giving jealous." Not treating the serious situation that she claimed happened seriously at all. People also found old tweets of hers where she was replying very inappropriately to other streamer friends of mine. She was even banned in one of my friend's chats for saying she wanted to sit on his face. These accounts weren't linked to her Instagram, so I would have had no idea about them. She also replied to fans of mine questioning her with slurs. She also said that she was gonna lie and tell me that she was 18, but that she changed her mind, I guess.
So I was going to lie and tell him I was 18.
She said she would provide proof of the fact that she told me she was 17 and that I still sexted her tomorrow.
But I didn't, and that proof will come out tomorrow.
And guess what? She never posted proof, because this never happened. She tweeted out thanking people for all the support and claimed at the end that I deleted our DMs, right as she tweeted this. And specifically said, my end too, which means her DMs too. Well, I just want to point out that this is impossible. There's not a single mainstream social media platform that lets you delete both people's messages. And we only had each other on Instagram and Snapchat, where you can't do that on either. She claimed that she was laughing and was going to prove people wrong with pictures of my penis, to which, again, never happened. Lastly, she tweeted saying that she's getting the law involved and going to the police. Said she's going to put me in jail unless I confess. She said she would provide more evidence. She didn't. She said she would upload her Snapchat logs. She didn't. She said she would sue me. She didn't. And now I'm making this video. She provided absolutely no proof for any of her claims and said that she didn't have any because she wanted her favorite YouTuber to trust her, which could be a completely valid argument, except the pictures that she posted were from a second phone, meaning there was no risk of me knowing. She was taking pictures of compliments from a second phone, but has no evidence of anything sexual, has no evidence of us planning to meet up and have sex, apparently from after these pictures were secretly taken, has no evidence of a singular inappropriate message from me or her, or even anything at all that isn't a story reply from Snapchat's story page of all your friends. What's more likely? She happens to have no evidence of anything she's claiming, even from things she claimed happened after she was taking pictures secretly using a second phone, or she doesn't have any evidence because it didn't happen. She factually deleted and hid messages. She factually lied about me deleting messages that I didn't. She called people doubting her jealous of her, was banned from streamers' chats before this for posting sexual things, and she lied about having specific pieces of evidence that she never provided because they don't exist. If she's willing to factually lie, cover up, and hide things, how can you trust anything else she says as being representative of the truth?
Couldn't have really said that part better myself, so just thought I would post the full clip there, but yeah, damn! Good job, Dream, you got her. I think even without as thorough of a dissection as we have here, it was still obvious this girl was either lying, or there was just not enough proof to condemn Dream. And it was sad to see everyone jump on this one accusation to call Dream a predator, when the information was extremely limited, disorganized, hard to follow, and just lacking. There was never enough evidence here. Now, at some point, Amanda left Twitter, and she said she was going to be taking this to the police to get some real justice. She posted this one really famous picture of her inside of a police station, and then she just left for over a year. Well, Dream apparently hired people to investigate any record of a police report and found absolutely nothing. And so therefore, she never even took it to the police. Like, that was all just bullshit. Who even knows where this picture is from? Next, Dream goes after Gumball. The Gumball allegation is definitely the most important of all. I actually already made a video going over what happened here, as with all these accusations. So I'll let Past Tom summarize the public perspective here on what happened between Dream and Gumball Watterson, or Nicholas Cantu, I guess is his real name. And these people are supporting this guy. The people who hate Dream support this guy. And Dream is now showing like this guy is the exact same way. And like he pretended not to be, but he is the exact same way. He called him retarded. He said the F slur or whatever. He called him, what was it? Cro-Magnon rock dumb.
I want to tell you right now, you are Australopithecus Cro-Magnon rock stupid. You're retarded. You're fucking Down syndrome.
You're Down syndrome.
You do not understand that your literacy level needs to be brought up from the fucking Mariana Trench.
This guy's crazy. He seems like funny. He seems like someone who's fun to play Fortnite with, but I don't know why he's like fronting that he's not like this when he is. And it's not like Dream filmed this and was sending it around to people as far as we know. He wasn't going around posting it. This guy, this kid who knew that he had done this around Dream, came after him first. And so obviously Dream is going to pull this out and be like, hey, this is you, buddy. He spawned on about basically everything except the racial stuff and me saying the N-word, don't do that stuff, won't say that ever. So like he's kind of acting here like he never would ever say something like that, but like he did kind of. I mean, I guess not in a racial way, but it's like in the same category where people will cancel you for doing that, no? So now that we have the public perception, Dream goes into detail in this video about basically his night out with his drunk, silly Billy. He recounts the Uber story, which was apparently true, and he then says that Nick Cantu apologized to him for his behavior the next day. And we already knew this, like prior to his video coming out, we had DMs. But then all of a sudden, when Dream's getting shit on over unsubstantiated allegations, Gumball Watterson comes out and calls Dream a file on Twitter point blank to jump on the bandwagon. And then the entire internet sides with him instead of Dream. I mean, the memes are pretty funny, don't get me wrong, it's pretty hilarious, but people sided with the bad guy in this situation. The Gumball guy slandered him. Dream then goes on to absolutely body this kid in the video, and I thought that was based. That needed to happen. This guy sucks.
He was also wishing death upon me publicly in Twitter replies, and that's when I realized it wasn't just one bad night and people needed to know about this. After I shared my experiences with him, he denied everything. He DM'd me saying I was lying, saying that if there wasn't video proof, it's all lies. He tweeted denying it all, which he deleted. And then he tweeted lying more about the situation, but also admitting to some stuff while underplaying it. He blatantly lied about the fact that he tipped the Uber driver when he didn't. He blatantly lied about me sending unsolicited dick pics to people. He also deleted that tweet almost immediately after. He blatantly lied about the reason he hit me and claimed I called the girl a whore and got slapped for it, which again was later recanted, but not after millions of people had already seen those lies. Nicholas tried DMing one of the people that was in the Uber that night with us to try and get them on his side as a witness. That caused the person who I didn't know at all to message me and tell me that they had videos of him being horrible from that night and that they don't like that he's pretending to be innocent. I asked them if they'd be willing to send me the videos so I could back up my story since he was denying it and lying, and they told me that he was threatening them to make sure they didn't give me the videos. After I ended up finally getting the videos, I posted them. I needed to defend myself against the lies that he was telling and wanted to share the proof. I also posted screenshots of texts between me and the Uber driver, confirming that he had blatantly lied and didn't even tip the Uber driver. After I posted this, Nicholas went silent, deleted his tweets, and hasn't said anything publicly since.
And so even with all the stuff people accuse Dream of lying about because he's Dream, you know, when you're Dream, you're enemy number one online and anything you do is tantamount to being evil, lying, right? You're never given any charitability. Dream managed to disprove a bunch of lies made about him in this video so far. This situation has been super blackpilling for me, honestly, because every few years I have to wake up and smell the fact that 60% or more of humans are not operating on any reasonable level of thinking. They shouldn't be allowed to drive cars. They are actually apes. Chimpanzees and baboons roam the earth. They walk among us, okay? And they're trying to cancel Dream from their little, you know, their little phones. And so Dream then does the most savage thing of all time and interviews the Uber driver for this video that Nicholas Cantu like cussed out to prove these people wrong.
The next day, Nicholas sent me a very nice DM saying that he was sorry for hitting me, that he was having a really rough night, and that he was high and drunk, and said that he was sorry for spreading false allegations that he knew nothing about, saying that he recognized it could ruin people's lives. Complimented me, called me humble, grounded, and a good human. I didn't accept this apology, but I moved on, and honestly, I felt kind of bad for him. I recognize that he was once a child actor, and I feel like there's a lot of bad stuff in that industry, so I felt a little bit of sympathy. I hoped he would just learn from the mistakes he made that night and move on. But then, of course, Nicholas started tweeting, spreading the same lies about me that he had already apologized for spreading and recognized could ruin people's lives.
I don't know what this Nicholas Cantu kid's problem is. He's probably mentally ill or something. I don't know what happened to him growing up to make him such a spaz, but he is one, and he's also an adult and decided to talk out of his ass online, so he needed to get owned in the marketplace of ideas, in my opinion. I will say, though, that one line he said about the Sahara Desert was awesome, so may have to forgive him for that one alone. That was pretty epic, not gonna lie.
You're gonna be forgotten like the dust in the sand when you're in the Sahara and there's 100 million, 1,000 billion sand particles. You're gonna be one of those, and I'm gonna be a statue erected in gold.
Yeah, he went all into the Egyptian king and like he's real creative.
You are a grain of sand in the Sahara Desert, and I am a statue erected in gold. Me to a baby, me to a 1-year-old infant who can't understand English. I am a statue erected in gold. Now for the most recent accusation about Dream. When the accusations were reaching a fever pitch a month or so ago, a new one came out claiming that Dream had messaged someone else. Dream was taken knowingly and willingly received explicit images and sexted a 16/17-year-old girl in 2019 when he was 20. He has a history of being inappropriate with minors going back years. This man is a groomer. And here we have a few screenshots. One of them is a DM with the user censored, and the other person in these DMs is called Chia Seeds, and someone here says she's 17. And then there's this screenshot of Twitter where someone named Jamie says, here you go, I guess, and there's like a video in here with a caption saying, F yes, your tits are so nice, what the freak. And they then go on to post a video of Dream supposedly like moaning. Now everyone assumed this video was real. Honestly, I did too, because Dream made this one tweet that I thought implied it, that it was real. But obviously, I would only really care about this if there was proof Dream gooned on someone who was too young for him. And to give you guys an idea of how widespread this accusation was, I was talking to someone recently about the Dream stuff, and she was like, "Oh, Dream, isn't that guy a P word, a PDF file?" And I was like, "What? No, he's not." And she's like, "Well, no, he definitely is. I saw a video of him moaning, and he sent that to a kid." And I was like, "Oh, so that's how this stuff works. Like this stuff just kind of spreads relentlessly online, and the actual truth of it gets taken out of context. People just spread it constantly, and we didn't even know if this was Dream at the time. We didn't even know if he was talking to this person. We didn't even know who this person was. And keep in mind, the poster on this account, this burner account, isn't even the person that was gooned on, supposedly, allegedly. They're just a third party reporting it or whatever. And then this account keeps going crazy, saying, explain what you did with Jamie when she was 16 and 17 and you were 20. Why do you goon Janie in 2019? Well, in his new response, Dream says that this accusation is also untrue, which is not surprising. This one was pretty simple for him to debunk off the bat, just given the shaky proof and limited information, but it sort of gets into a rabbit hole where this burner account posted screenshots without permission from some anonymous third party that claimed that Dream is an evil person. And so this account, even if Dream was guilty, which he's not, but even if he was, they would be outing a victim against their will. This situation is more complex and hard for me to summarize, so I'll play a bunch of the Dream video here for you guys to see. Feel free to watch this whole video, of course, if you want. It's really him going through a bunch of messes and trying to clean it up, but he's able to delegitimize the entire claim and also says he's not the person who was moaning in that video.
It is incredibly violating to have audio spread to the masses saying that it's you moaning, that people think is you moaning. Whether it is you moaning or not, it could be anyone moaning. It does not matter. It's still violating. This is sent to your little sister saying it's you moaning. It doesn't matter that it's not you moaning. It's being said seriously that it is. This is, in essence, revenge porn. This isn't even the only time I've had claimed sexual stuff spread about me. Once, people spread a video that was like deepfaked or something of me sucking my own dick. It obviously wasn't me, but so many people thought it was, which even caused some YouTubers to make videos like this.
You guys know I've never been the biggest fan of the YouTuber Dream, but I have always had respect for him as a person. That ends today. Dream sucked his own dick. You know, I thought this was some sort of joke, and then I saw the reply. Was a video of Dream sucking his erect penis.
But of course, while this was all going on Twitter, it just was okay to lie about me. And all the people posting fake screenshots and memes and taking things seriously from parody accounts just proves how easy it is to fake this stuff. So let's talk about fake allegations.
By the end of this hour-long video, Dream managed to debunk every accusation of him being a creep. He gave context for situations like the cheating in Minecraft thing, which heavily helps his side of the story. He explained what happened in depth. He countered less substantive claims about posting thirst traps or using Snapchat as a grown man, and the entire time he came off pretty level-headed. I honestly think this is probably the best video he could have made given the circumstances. And despite that, you still have people on Twitter coming for him, trying to add to the pile and find something, anything to call him a terrible person with. Like this fucking loser on Twitter, Dino Nuggets, dude. This guy sucks for a living, okay? Hey, Dream was taken since you spent the entire video dodging allegations. He didn't dodge it. He talked about it. He went in depth about it. He confronted it. Please answer this one. What happened to the Manhunt merch you sold 3 years ago? The merch that was promised to have one person win and be in a Manhunt video, a video you never made? Would love to hear why. Firstly, this tweet is framed in such a disingenuous way. Dream didn't dodge anything. He addressed it all. With facts and logic, some may say. Facts and logic. Dream is honestly one of the greatest conservative YouTubers of all time. He had receipts, and even when he didn't need it, he managed to discredit the accusers in a manner where their word should not be taken to be serious in any reasonable way. And secondly, like, really, dude, this is all you got? A merch giveaway that he didn't follow through with? I mean, I guess he should have made this video and given away the merch if he didn't do that, but this is totally irrelevant to anything happening right now, and it's obviously being brought up in bad faith. You had every opportunity to talk about this, and instead you waited until Dream's video of the allegations had to come out to talk about it after. Who cares, bro? This Dino Nuggets guy is a dumbass. By the way, he keeps tweeting stuff about this. This video is monetized, by the way, so don't watch it until there's a re-upload. Now, keep in mind, in the video itself, okay, in like the first minute, Dream says it's monetized, but he says he's donating all the money to charity, and he even links the charity below. Don't watch it until there's a re-upload. What, so you don't give him money? Do you know how much money Dream has? Do you think that you not watching the video is really gonna hurt him? He's gonna be fine. Now, this guy, because he got called out, he posted a follow-up tweet saying, Dream claims all money from the video is going to charity, but Dream spends the entire video detailing his very long past of lying and manipulating. No, he does not. No, he does not. You're I do not believe a word of this video that wasn't backed up with clear evidence, including the charity part. Watch this. It's safe. I had one of my mods make an unmonetized version of the video for people to watch and review it to make sure it doesn't even get a cent. Since it's a drive link, it's impossible for someone to make money from it. This kid Dino Nuggets needs some Pedialyte or something. He's like an insanely stupid person. I hate these people, dude. Like, literally, Dream's made a video debunking the allegations, and these people still give him no charitability, no benefit of the doubt. They assume he's going to commit charity fraud on a video where he disproves the idea that he is a file. But it doesn't end at 3-year-old videos and merch giveaways. No, there's even more fun going on Twitter, okay? These people, oh my god. The things I would say. Things Dream didn't address in his video. His past as a Trump supporter, his history of anti-Semitism, his history of racism, his history of sexism. What Dream did address, him using Snapchat as an adult, gumball slapping him, the speedrunning drama, Moist Critical. Did we just watch the same video at all? You summarize it with the most minute details, glossing over the majority of it, which was spent disproving the fact that he's literally an evil, like, child, you know, exploiting and then you ask him to address him being a racist. And by the way, these people's proof that he's like evil is that he used the word lynch once on a live stream. These people will never be satisfied. They will never be happy. They will never have enough. You can spend an hour debunking every major allegation against you, and people will get 50,000 likes on Twitter being mad at you because 6 years ago you were posting on r/TheDonald. At this point, can you even blame him for becoming demotivated for YouTube and wanting to work on things outside of this toxic community? And I hate the word toxic, but these people are genuinely clout-sucking, toxic crybaby leeches. Losers! No wonder he quit to do music. OMG, I got a Dream notice. Dude, this guy's just a fan. You suck. Hey Dream, why'd you put me and a lot of other smaller accounts in the video completely uncensored? You know damn well what your community is known for. Aw, you widow baby, did you make a public statement slandering someone and then get a few people tweeting at you? Aw, you poor thing. And speaking of music, I didn't actually realize how popular Dream's music has become recently. I was under the impression that he had like one song and it was Mask, and maybe one or two more that like he'd put out, but after checking his Spotify, he's got nearly 1 million monthly listeners, and he has multiple songs that are even more popular than those songs. It's not really my kind of music, but I mean, he's doing it, you know, he's becoming successful doing music. He's actually on his way to becoming a popular recording artist, and I imagine that given everything that's happened, he's probably going to try to leave the YouTube community behind as soon as possible to try and just do music. Overall, this entire situation has been extremely blackpilling. The internet is full of dumb people who can probably barely tie their fucking shoes, let alone just shut their mouth before jumping to conclusions about serious matters. And they still hate him too. Remember when Quiet posted his video and everyone apologized to him for slandering him? Not for Dream, they just tack on some dumb claim that's dated, doesn't make any sense, and has nothing to do with anything being talked about. These people are slime. They should be put on trains and sent to a bouncy castle on the moon where they can play around, hang out, frolic, drink Diet Coke and Diet Dr. Pepper, and just experience the joys of the vacuum of space. I had the chance to watch the video. Unfortunately, Dream, you have a very unreliable person make a statement in your video. Please see my next tweet. To clarify what we're saying, either this person lied to us about the allegations being true, sent us fake proof, and then gave us permission to post it for whatever reason, or they lied in Dream's response video about the allegations being false, and the allegations are true. Yeah, this burner account that made the accusation, the latest one, has been melting down all day. You know what? If they get sued, that's probably for the betterment of the world. I think we've heard enough from them, though. Thank you guys for watching all my videos about Dream. I do appreciate it. I think with this new video from him, unless some other more allegations come out that are actually, you know, containing substantial proof, I'd say he's probably innocent. I'm declaring him innocent in the court of Turkey Tom, and so that's probably going to put this little series to bed. Appreciate you guys watching all the way through. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like as always. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. Drop a comment down below with your thoughts. Type your stuff up down there. I appreciate all you guys' support lately. The videos have been doing pretty well. You know, way better than I expected, honestly. So I'm very thankful for you guys and everything you've given me through YouTube. Now I'm gonna go sleep. I actually have Bovid right now, which is why my voice is a little more hoarse than usual. So I'm gonna go, probably leave, fall into a deep slumber and dream. Some may say when I'm sleeping, I'm gonna be dreaming. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye. And be sure to become a member. For $5 a month, they get the members only podcasts and exclusive videos that only members get. Thanks so much for your support. No